I have never cut recording the podcast this close in my entire life. I post this podcast on the last day of the month. For reference, it's the day before the last day of the month. I usually do this like a week or two in advance? But I don't know. I think it's just because February is so short. I thought that I had more time this month. This month felt so much shorter because it is shorter. That's crazy. Anyway, hi guys. Welcome to February's episode of The Yapping Bit. I'm so excited to be talking to you today. You know, honestly, I feel like me recording this the day before I have to post it makes this a little more authentic even. Like, there's no delay. You are truly knowing exactly where my brain is at the end of the month, and I think that's beautiful. We're going to put as many positive spins on my procrastination as physically possible. Now, the catch-up bit. Let's get into what February has entailed for me because, I don't know, I feel like 2026 thus far has been a bit insane. And I'm not just saying that for myself. Everyone that I've talked to has said that 2026 has been crazy. But, I mean, obviously, February is no exception. February is half of the year that we have experienced thus far. So if February was normal, I wouldn't be saying the whole year is normal. I don't know what I'm talking about. Highlights of the month, though. I went to Disney World. That was fun. I haven't done that in like, oh my God, 16 years, something crazy. I went like it was probably like 16 or 17 years since I've been to Disney, and I went with my sister, and I had a great time. I will say, though, I feel like maybe I'm not super built for Disney, because it's a lot of waiting in lines, and like, I don't do well just standing in a horrible experience. Like, I have autism and ADHD, so it's just like really a nightmare, especially in lines that are a little more overstimulating, like the Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like you're in a lot of darkness and it's a lot of overstimulating noises and stuff. It's just, I don't do well. I spent hours, literally hours in lines, and I think that that's something Disney has created even, and I've watched videos and done some research on how Disney World itself has created the issue of the lines being so immensely long, and then they have now monetized on that issue. So it's a whole thing. I don't know. I have weird feelings about Disney. Does that mean I never want to go back? Of course not. I want to go back like next year. I don't know. I love it. I left and I missed it. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite ride was Haunted Mansion so my favorite ride in Animal Kingdom, obviously, Navi River Journey. That was like top 2 of the trip, top 3 of the trip, whatever. One of my favorite experiences of my life. I literally cried in that fuck-ass boat. I had a great time on the Navi River Journey. But Magic Kingdom, my favorite ride for sure was the Haunted Mansion. That ride is so fun, and I feel like my brain just couldn't comprehend how they make the ghosts look like holograms, so I really felt like a little kid with the Disney magic. I did have an awesome time, though, also getting breakfast in the castle with the princesses on the day that I was in Magic Kingdom. That was such like a surreal experience. It felt very like, it's not something that I'll do every single time I go to Disney, obviously, because it's really expensive, but it's something I'm glad that I did. It's something that I'm really proud to have done in my little Disney experience. It's something that I think is good to have under my belt. Other than Disney, though, I started working with my music producer, Chris, on my second song that I'm going to release in June. It was so crazy. I got in a call with him. I haven't spoken to him since probably last June. But speaking to him felt like I had been talking to him the whole time. He's such a cool guy. I feel like you guys would really like him. I'm going to have to maybe have him on the podcast at some point. Or maybe I'll do a video with him, interview him, talk to him about my music and other music and all those different types of things. Something. Because he's really great and he's so incredibly talented. And I'm so happy to be working with him. And I love being creative as far as the music piece of it goes. Because I love writing lyrics. I was an English major in college. I love writing. I love music theory too. I love using elements of music to tell stories. I haven't taken a music class in years and years and years, but I don't think people know this. When I was a kid, I was playing music by ear on the piano at the age of 6. It was crazy. My neighbor was a piano teacher, and she heard me being able to play notes that I was hearing and those different types of things. And I was her youngest student. She didn't take students under the age of I think it was 6, but I was 5. But she took me because I was so good at the piano stuff. So this music stuff has always been so ingrained with me, and I'm so excited that I now have a way that I can work on it and share it. I will say the music that I'm going to release probably doesn't really, at least, I don't know. I don't think people are going to expect the sound that I'm going to bring, because I feel like a lot of people are going to expect me to be releasing not stereotypical, but maybe standard is a better word. Standard kind of pop music, which I love listening to and I love indulging in, and I love artists and all the different genres and those different types of things. But my music is honestly a little bit more the stuff that I wanted to make is very, I don't know, I feel weird saying cinematic. It feels a little bit like a movie soundtrack. That's like the vibe that I'm going for with my music. That's what, because I love listening to that stuff. And maybe part of it too is that I just love telling stories. So I feel like having music that feels like it belongs in a movie, belongs in a story, and using that music to tell stories, I feel like that's a really unique and interesting way to go about making music. At least for me, I'm having a great time with it. And honestly, I feel like Harry Styles said something like this recently, where it's like, if you're trying to make music for your audience and like trying to make what other people are going to like, you're sort of doing a disservice to not just your art, but like the audience as well, because you're not showing them your full self. And I really want my music to be something that shows everyone the full scope of me, if that makes sense. So I'm not really trying to cater to a pop audience or any kind of specific thing. I don't know if that sounds weird. It probably does. You get what I mean. Okay, now the feelings bit. I am reluctant. Why do I sound so choppy? I am reluctant to have a feelings bit on this topic because this topic comes from a trend that I've seen online where people are sort of joking about it. It's been a thing on like TikTok and Instagram where people are posting videos of themselves dancing to really energetic music and they're captioning it or like putting text on the screen that says depression can't hit a moving target. There's just like such a crazy amount of truth to that I've found, especially over the past couple of months. I mean, other than Disney, the last time I really went out and traveled or did something special was the convention that I went to at the end of October last year. So it's really been about 4 months that I've just kind of been at home, sort of doing nothing. I mean, I go and volunteer at the cat shelter like I've talked about in the past, but I don't really go out and do things. I do my social media stuff at home. I just sort of stay at home and do my little hobbies that I have. I've been really bored. And I know that sounds insane because I always talk about how I do 1,000 things and I love working on things and I love doing XYZ, but I really have been so bored. Like I've really just been home. I've been spending a lot of time by myself. And has it been nice? Has it been relaxing? Yes, absolutely. Of course. I spent a lot of last year traveling and doing a couple different things each month, and it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff to be doing. But my brain has been so out of it for the past couple of months, and I think it's because I'm spending so much time at home doing nothing. And when you get used to doing nothing, fun things sometimes will even start to feel like an inconvenience. Like, I found out Felicia Day is going to be about 10 minutes from one of my closest friends' houses on St. Patrick's Day for her book tour. And I was so excited. And then I was like, do I even want to go? Because do I even want to drive all the way there? Like, that would be so annoying to have to drive like an hour and a half in the car. And then I was like thinking about it and I was like, I'm so stupid. Like, it's not that bad. Every single day, if you're taking your days day by day, it is so much harder for tasks to feel overwhelming. I've just found that focusing on the day by day has made it a lot easier to have a freaking good time in like my life, in the stuff that I want to do, that for some reason, this little noggin in my brain that wants me to slow down and not be doing it just is getting in the way. My brain for some reason did not want me to be a moving target. So like next month, I'm trying this thing where I'm going to spend the last like 2 weeks of March just doing so many things, like really just a lot of stuff. I'm going to Felicia Day's book tour. I am going on 2 trips, 2 conventions in a row, 2 weekends in a row. I'm insane. Why am I doing this to myself? I am doing it to myself because I think it's what my brain needs. It's giving Jensen Ackles. You know how Jensen often talks about how he needs to be doing something like all the time? Like if he slows down, it's just he just needs to be doing something. That's me. And I tried to slow down and I think it's just not working for me. People in my life have even noticed, like when I am in a bad space, if I get up and I get out of the house and I go do something, I feel better. Since COVID, everyone has become so accustomed to spending days and days and days on end in their house doing pretty much nothing. I feel like we need to get back to the version of ourselves a little bit that we were kind of before COVID, where it was like if we stayed inside in our house for more than like 2 or 3 days at a time, everyone was like, whoa, are you okay? Like, because that's so normalized now. I feel like we need to be getting out and going and doing things, whether that, and I mean, hopefully it'll be getting warmer soon, but like, because it's cold right now, so where I live at least. So it's difficult to be going out and doing things, but just getting out of the house. Oh my God, I really have to start doing that. That thing everyone is saying where it's like depression cannot hit a moving target. Correct, depression cannot hit a moving target, but that does not mean you need to aggressively dance to Funky Town in your living room either. That can simply mean getting out of the house and maybe walking your dog, getting a coffee, doing something outside of the confines of your home. If you are hearing this and feeling inspired, don't worry, I do have ideas prepared for you. I'm prepared to share some of my tips and tricks and things that I've discovered over the past couple of months that I like going out and doing. I mentioned walking my dog. Muffin loves to be outside, my dog Muffin. She loves walking around outside. She loves smelling things. It's also snowy right now, and she loves snow because she's a freak of nature. If you have a dog or a pet that likes to be outside, walk that dog or pet that likes to be outside. Guys, not only will you be better off for it, so will your animal. Going and getting a coffee or something like that, because I don't really drink coffee, so I get like teas or hot chocolates, but like going out and like getting a cute little beverage or something to that effect every once in a while, like it's less than $10 and it's something that you can do like with intention, right? Because there's going and getting like a coffee on the way to something else that you have to do, but there's also like go out and just get a coffee, hang out at the coffee shop for a little bit, and go home. Take yourself on a little date. You can also take yourself on a little date somewhere to go shopping, and honestly, you don't even have to buy anything. Sometimes I just like to go window shopping and making little wish lists for myself for the future when money is in my pocket. Just anything to get out of the house. Or go visit a friend, talk to people. I don't know, guys. I've just been having like a weird couple of months, and I feel like now that I've figured out this thing where I feel like being bored is a lot of what my issue is, I just want everyone to not be bored because boredom is so bad. Do you guys know that in ADHD brains, boredom and pain register very similarly? So if you have ADHD and you're bored, it feels similarly to pain that neurotypical people experience. So if you're bored and you're hating being bored, don't feel bad about it, okay? Be a moving target. Explore the world, explore yourself, and I love you. I think that's a good way to end the feelings bit. Okay, period. Okay, I ended on a good note. We're not going to ruin it. Rex bit. Let's get into the Rex bit, okay? I feel like this month with the Rex bit, I'm going to have to go a little bit rapid fire because I've watched a lot of really good things. I've experienced a lot of really good things. So we're just going to get straight into it. TV shows. Season 4 of Bridgerton. Hold on a second, please. 1 second. Season 4 of Bridgerton. I love Bridgerton so much, you guys. I read some of the Bridgerton books, not all of them. Of the books that I did read, Benedict's book was my favorite. So I've been very excited for this season ever since I read the books. I will say, at the time of recording this, I have not watched the second half of this season 4 of Bridgerton. And I've heard a couple people complaining about some things, so I don't know if I feel comfortable being like, the entire season is fantastic. But I love what I have seen so far, and I love Bridgerton, and I think the creativity on that show is just phenomenal. I love it so much. I also decided this month to rewatch Orange is the New Black. Not sure how many of you like Orange is the New Black, but I started rewatching it, and it's so crazy because I'm on season 7 now. And they're talking about stuff with ICE and ICE detention centers, and it's just so insane because I feel like this came out when? In 2020 or something crazy? And it's like everything that they're making commentary on about ICE and all that stuff is still happening. It's worse now. It's worse now than it was when this season came out. Orange is the New Black just feels like such an achingly relevant piece of media to be watching right now. I feel like more people need to be talking about that show and how after, 6 years? All of the themes and everything inside of it are still relevant. We have not moved forward enough in any way, shape, or form. I could go on and on about it, honestly. It really just pisses me off watching it. It's so moving and insane. But I have to move on. Oh my God. Movies this month. I went to the movie theater twice this month. The first movie I saw this month was Send Help. That movie with Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams. Guys, that movie was so fun. I feel like some people, when I left Send Help, and the movie ended and I was like, wow, what a great movie. What a great experience going to the movies. And this old, ancient, geriatric woman, I really need to paint a good word picture for you guys. She was wearing a full outfit of teal. Her hair was blonde, but it was gray. And it was in a very distinct one length bob at her chin. So this is the genre of person that I am speaking about in this exact moment in time. She walks by me and my lovely mother and she goes, well, that'll win Oscars. And then she makes a disgusted face. And for half a second, I thought that she was being serious. I really thought that she was that's going to win Oscars because Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien were so incredible in that movie that I was no, yeah, they deserve really high accolades for their performances in this film. But no, she was saying that it sucked. It didn't. It was so good. Dylan O'Brien just has something inside him about comedic timing. He owns it. He's so good at it. And I mean, Rachel McAdams, I feel like I haven't seen her in very many roles that are sort of I don't want to give too much of the movie away. I haven't seen Rachel McAdams in very many roles that are so as intense, right? as intense as this particular character that she plays. And it was really nice to see her play a character that wasn't like sweet. It was nice to see her play a character that was interesting, and like, I want more of that. More Rachel McAdams being crazy on the big screen. Thank you so much. Also in theaters, I saw Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. I don't have as many good things to say about Wuthering Heights, which breaks my little achy breaky heart like Billy Ray Cyrus, because I love Jacob Elordi. I've loved him for years. I thought he was fantastic in Frankenstein. But I don't know. I watched this movie. I went like the day before Valentine's Day with a couple other, like my sister and some of her friends. And I don't know. I wished it was less intensely sexual, which I don't know how else to word it. I feel like some of the scenes that were meant to be really sexy just were very awkward. I felt like there was a lot of tongue going on, and like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. When I'm watching like kissing scenes or those different types of things, I don't like seeing a lot of tongue. Tongues are weird. Tongues are like penises, right? Like, in practice, tongues are phenomenal. Love them. Love a tongue. Amazing. But like, visually speaking, it looks a little like an alien. Are you with me? Are we in this together? We're all in this together. Singing a High School Musical song while discussing penises and tongues. Yeah, guys, I'm having a great time on my podcast, and I hope you are too. I have to say, though, visually, Wuthering Heights was beautiful. And I'm not just saying that because I think Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are pretty, because they are, but the cinematography was really awesome. A lot of the costumes, even though they weren't super historically accurate, a lot of the costumes were really gorgeous. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. I walked into the theater with my sister, and I said, I don't know if it was good, but I had a good time. And I think that's a really good way to summarize Wuthering Heights, or at least this rendition of Wuthering Heights. Anyway, movies that I watched at home. An absolutely crazy movie that I watched that was on Netflix was, oh my God, what was it called? It was called Oh Hi, starring Logan Lerman. That movie was quite the ride. I recommend it. I had a good time watching it. I also watched that movie, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And the main actress in that movie, oh my God, I forget what her name is. I feel so bad right now. But I think, is it Rose something? Oh my God, what's her name? Hold on, I have to Google it. I'm sorry. It was Rose Byrne. I love Google. Thank you so much. Rose Byrne is getting a lot of recognition for her performance in that role. And like, when it was happening, I was really like, okay, whatever. Because I hadn't heard much about that movie. And then I went and watched the movie and I was like, oh, so that's why she's winning all the awards. Right. And she deserves it. She deserves to win all the awards for that movie. Her performance was fantastic. The movie was done really well. It was so interesting, and like, film wise, it was very artistic but also digestible. I really loved it. It was very intense though. Sit down for an intense ride. It was a really interesting experience as a movie too, because not only is the protagonist who you're rooting for, she is also sort of a villain in her own story. It's very complicated. I recommend it though. It was a good movie. I liked it. All right, let's get into the fandom bit, guys. Very specifically, I would like to thank Rob Benedict and Ruthie Connell for giving me everything that I need this month, between Ruthie's little magic class that she did with Momentus and Rob's music class that's tomorrow with Momentus. I really just feel very fulfilled. I feel very connected. I'm having a great time. Also, just in general, I love seeing Rob and Ruthie get their flowers. I love when they are appreciated the way they deserve. Also, so funny, I used to be like, when I would join Momentus events, it would say like my full government name. So like, people didn't know who I was in there, because my full name is actually Emily, which is really weird because I go by Emmy online. So like, people would see Emily commenting and they would have no idea who I was, because people would be like, Emmy, are you going to the thing? And I'm like, I'm in the chat box. What are you talking about? So I noticed during Ruthie's Valentine's Day event that they changed my name on their little system. So now when I log in, my name on the event, like in the event, is Bestie Emmy. So that's really funny. There was a moment in Ruthie's thing where she invited other people on camera, like to show and be a part of the thing. And I raised my hand and agreed to be on camera. And before I popped up on camera, she saw my name and she went, Bestie. And then I popped up and she went, oh, Emmy. It was so cute. I love Ruthie so much. Cool stuff was also announced this month that I'm really excited about. Felicia's going on a book tour. Hello? I know I talked about this a little bit, I think, during the feelings bit when I was talking about like getting out there and going and doing things. But Felicia is doing a stop. The first stop on her book tour is on St. Patrick's Day at a bookshop that's like 10 minutes from my friend's house in Massachusetts. So I'm gonna go to that with her and we're gonna have a sleepover afterwards. It's gonna be a great time. Who better to spend my St. Patrick's Day with than Felicia Day, truly. I really am so excited to be seeing her. I haven't actually seen her in so long, I feel like. And I honestly think I've only really met her like once or twice. Like, Felicia Day is one of my untapped, if you will, women of Supernatural who I really wish I could spend more time with. I'm very excited to be going to this. And then like 2 days later, I'm going to be going to GalaxyCon Richmond because I didn't think I would get it, guys. I literally sent that application in like December, January, just for ha-has and shenanigans because I was like, GalaxyCon is a really big company. They're not going to want my stupid ass. But no, apparently they said yes. And so I am going to go down there and cover the con with like a media pass, press pass, whatever. I'm so excited. Disney Princess Girlies rise up. Teen Wolf Girlies rise up. I will be seeing Tyler Posey and Tyler Hoechlin. I'm very excited. I saw Tyler Posey in November last year at Rhode Island Comic Con, but I haven't seen Tyler Hoechlin since New York Comic Con in 2022. So very excited to be in his presence again. And then like a week after GalaxyCon Richmond, I'm going to Planet City Comic Con to be there. I don't know if I have a press pass for that one yet, but I do have plans to do stuff with Wild Bills. So I don't know. I have to figure that out. That's one thing about doing the press pass stuff is that a lot of that isn't decided until like a couple weeks before the con. So I don't really know what I'm doing for a while. It's been a little tricky getting used to that. But either way, I'll be at that con because I promised Wild Bills I would do some stuff with them. I'm just so excited to see everybody. I feel like when Jared is somewhere, a lot of people that I know will also be there. And there's a lot of friends that I missed that I haven't seen in quite some time. So I'm very excited to hopefully see some more people there. There's also some really cool non-Supernatural people going to that convention. Originally, the cast of The Boys was supposed to be there, and I was so excited to meet Laz Alonso again and talk to him about being an Avatar Fire and Ash, but he had to cancel because of The Boys promo. It's okay. I'll begrudgingly forgive him just this one time. Just this once. Next time, he's on thin ice. He's on thin ice. But yeah, that's what I'm calling Fangirl-mageddon. I'm calling it Fangirl-mageddon because it's just going to be so much. There's going to be so much going on at the end of March. But you know, honestly, I feel like over the past couple of months, I've been just bored. Like I said in the feelings bit, like it's just been boring and I'm excited to have stuff going on and be busy. I've also felt kind of like disconnected from my fangirl life a little. Just because I think part of it also is because of the, like the press pass stuff. Like you never know if or when you're going to get approved or whatever. So I haven't been doing as much planning or like knowing exactly what cons I'm going to. Like I used to be able to plan things 6 months out. And now I can't really do that. So I feel like now that I have something, cons in particular, to look forward to, I feel like I'm alive again. I feel like I'm me again, guys. We are so back. Imagine if there's also crazy Momentus stuff going on in March. Man. Maybe I just won't sleep. You know what's crazy? I also might be like moving into my basement next month. Maybe, again, I just won't sleep. Guys, being a fangirl is like a full-time job. I will say, though, I do have an actual full-time job, and doing all of this stuff is so much more fun. I love doing it so much more. I'm so excited to be going back to a con. I hope I see some of you at, like, GalaxyCon Richmond. I know there's no Supernatural people there, but, like, I don't know. At Rhode Island Comic Con, when I was in the Teen Wolf panel, someone looked at me and went, "Oh my god, you're Emmy." And I was like, "Oh my god, yay." So then I got to talk to that person. And then there was someone else in line that I got to talk to. So who knows? Maybe there's a lot of overlap with the Supernatural fandom and the Teen Wolf fandom, and I'll get to see some of you there. I feel like it's a whole thing now where, like, my favorite part of conventions has become seeing you guys. That's so crazy. I love you guys so much. Okay, let's get into the questions bit. As you guys know, I answer questions on my Instagram story every single Saturday. However, I usually try to save some of those questions and answer them here every month on the questions bit. So you can either submit questions on my Instagram there at bestie_Emmy, or you can email me at bestie.emmy@gmail.com. Okay, now let's get into the actual questions. That kid Jay asked me what my favorite aesthetic or core is. First of all, that's a baller, incredible, amazing, sensational, iconic, radiant question. I love you for that question. I love that question. I used to say it was always like cottagecore, and I do think I still love cottagecore, but I feel like that was just like a fad thing where I was like sort of just going with trends and like what was there, and everyone was talking about cottagecore. So I was like, yeah, cottagecore. And I do love cottagecore. Often when I'm looking for like decor and things for my home or like whatever, I will search cottagecore whatever, because that's always a lot of cute stuff that comes up. Lately though, I feel like my favorite core aesthetic, if you will, whatever, has been, what is it even called? Probably something close to Barbie core. I've just really been all about pink. And the color sage. I don't know if there's an aesthetic that specifically highlights the colors pink and green, but those are my favorite. Maybe like Wicked core, Wicked aesthetic, Cosmo and Wanda core, you know? I feel like once the downstairs of my house where I'm going to move into is done, you guys will have a very good sense of what my aesthetic preferences are. Because I'm very much sort of designing that and making it how I want it to look and how I will be happiest. So I feel like that will answer a lot of this question. I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer than the fact that I like the colors pink and green. But I think we're going to rock with that, I fear. Rory Prescott04 asked me what my top 5 characters from Supernatural were, including Supernatural spin-off shows. And I don't even need to think about this to tell you that Sam Winchester is number 1. When I tell people that Sam Winchester is one of my favorite fictional characters in the entire universe, I'm not saying that lightly. Sam Winchester is my close personal best friend. I love him. There will never be another Sam Winchester, I fear. I'm very sorry to everyone who is not as diehard about Sam Winchester as I am, but there will never be another Sam Winchester. Sam Winchester is everything to me, and I love him. I love Sam Winchester so much. And I feel bad, though, because I also love Dean and Cass, but I feel like if I'm saying my top 5 supernatural characters, my top 3 cannot be Sam, Dean, and Cass. That's ridiculous. I always use one from the big 3, if you will. So I'll do, like, Sam, and then I'll use, like, 4 other characters, like, side characters. That just feels the most fair to me. I'm sorry. This is not saying that I don't love all of those characters, like, that are main characters or whatever, but they're, like, I just feel like if I'm giving you an understanding of my psyche, saying all 3 of them does not give you an understanding of my psyche. So I'm giving you that and 4 smaller scale characters. Okay, the 4. Say it with me, everyone. Rowena McLeod. Not even close. Obviously. What are we talking about here? Garth Fitzgerald. I've never connected and seen myself in a character as much as I see myself in Garth in my life. I literally, if you guys think Garth is annoying, you do not want to be my friend, and I mean that. Donna. That is my home slice. I fucking love Donna. Donna is also so unbelievably me. Oh my god, I love Donna. And for my last one, it's tough. It's probably between Jack and Claire. But I think I'm going to go with Jack. Just because it's small. He's so small. I love you, Jack Klein. That's my child. That's my son. And I'm not just saying that because Alexander Calvert is also my son. But whatever. Actually, Alex probably isn't my son. He's more of like a... I don't know how to describe my camaraderie, if you will, with Alex. He's wonderful, very supportive of all the silly, stupid stuff that I do on the internet. But also, one time during a meet and greet, halfway through, I noticed that he had a pimple patch on his face, and I didn't tell him. So who knows? Who knows, you guys? And then at the end of the meet and greet, he was like, oh my god, I've had this on my face the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I noticed about halfway through, but I didn't say anything. And he was like, why? I don't know, guys. Whatever. Now, Shandmarie asked me what my favorite ways are to treat yourself. Treat myself, I guess, in this context. Oh my god, I'm so glad you asked. I love self-care nights, like doing if you will, an everything shower. I'm sure you're familiar with, though, everyone's familiar with an everything shower. Doing an everything shower, doing all of my skincare, teeth, hair, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Everything that I need to do to feel as pretty as I can. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite ways to treat myself. I love going out for a milkshake, also. I love a milkshake. I live really close to a Cold Stone Creamery. So I often will, if I'm willing to spend $10 on a beverage, go there and get an Oreo and cookie, whatever, milkshake. It's so good. It's like drinking an Oreo cookie. It's my favorite. I love it so much. This is probably going to surprise some people, but one of my favorite ways to treat myself is to put my phone down also. And I say this as someone who does a lot of stuff on social media and really loves social media. Sometimes it's really, really necessary. Sometimes you really just need to put the phone down. The world exists outside of it. It does, I promise you. The act of not scrolling sometimes is the best treat yourself self-care that you can give, okay? When you're doing something like scrolling on like Instagram mindlessly or whatever, your time, your very valuable time, is being decided on for you by an algorithm. And sometimes that's really great and interesting and fun, but sometimes you really just need to like cognitively be like, I'm going to choose to do this with my time. And that's a really great way to treat yourself. And you know what? I think that message is a great way to end February's rendition, if you will, of the yapping bit. Yay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this month. I love doing this podcast. I love when people message me about this podcast. So if you heard something that you resonated with, please let me know. As always, stay sexy, stay yappy. I will see you at the end of March, and I love you.